Hola, bom dia. Carl Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show from expatsportugal.com. How are you today? We have a nice mix of news, weather, expat update, and whatever you, well, not whatever, but within reason, whatever you'd like to bring to the party this morning. How was your weekend? What state of pandemic measures are you in and experiencing? I'll do my best this morning to make it clear about how we move forward with that, with the two upcoming public holidays in Portugal. All sorts of news to share with you. I guess some could be judged as good, some bad, but we'll see. And obviously welcoming your comments around that as well. So yeah, do shout out in the comments. Let me know what sort of weekend you have. We begin as usual with a weather report. And I know that there is a heavy rain and hail shower alert for the Algarve, but let's just look at it more generally first and look at the weather in the principal parts of the country and let you know what's going to be happening for the week ahead, starting in Lisbon. I've also, I'll have a couple of questions for you in a moment. A translation question. Actually, I can put this on the screen now. Let me do that whilst you're taking in the weather. I have a question for you, which is the reason I'm putting this on the screen. Actually, before I do that, I should say to you, you should know what day it is, basically. I mean, I know you know what day it is, but just to help you with your Portuguese. Oh, that didn't work when I changed it. I'm going to change it for you now. So it's going to be segunda-feira. Segunda-feira, dia 30 de novembro. Okay, last day, is it not, of 30 days of September? Yes, okay, 30 days in this month. So last day of the month today. Payday for those of you who still have one. It's not funny, is it, really? Segunda-feira, dia 30 de novembro today. So let's pop that on the screen for you. And I also have a question for you to help you with your Portuguese language. What does this mean? Foi você que pediu. Okay, that's on the screen now as well. So tell me what that means whilst I'm talking to you about the weather and the unlikely context in which, I mean, you get extra points if you can tell me where that catchphrase, it's almost like a strapline for a product. I'm looking on my desk this morning. The clue might be in the word branco. That's probably enough of a clue, isn't it? But that's on the box of this particular product. What does it mean, folks? 12 degrees and overcast in Lisbon at the moment, rising to 18. Now, we may have had a somewhat cloudy or rainy weekend. Continues to be cloudy today. Sunshine returning tomorrow. 20-degree day tomorrow, which is pretty cool, isn't it? If you see what I mean. Cool as in fija. 17 degrees and sunny on Wednesday, 15 on Thursday, and then the return of the rain. As you might expect, obviously it's going to be December, isn't it? So we shouldn't be averse to a bit of rain at this time of year, but just letting you know when that might be coming. And the, well, not severe, but more challenging weather condition alert coming up just after I've done these, Porto, Coimbra and Faro as well. So Porto, 11 degrees and partly cloudy today, 20 degrees to look forward to. The sun showing itself occasionally today in Porto, 20 degrees, 19 tomorrow, sunny tomorrow, and then a cloudier day on Wednesday and the rain returning on Thursday for a few days. Or so it is forecast, so it is foretold. Coimbra, 9 degrees and mostly cloudy today, and it will remain that way, but there'll be a very comfortable temperature of 20 degrees. 20 tomorrow as well, and a sunny day tomorrow promised, and then a cloudy day on Wednesday, heralding the return of more rain Thursday through to Sunday, as far as the eye can see on this forecast. Faro, possible light rain, and we'll come back to that in just a moment. 18 degrees with some rain forecast today and tomorrow, then 3 days of sun. And no rain to come until the weekend in Faro. So let's just have a look at the a deeper dig into the weather and the warning that's coming from 0800 hours this morning. 14 flooding and landslip occurrences have been reported by Civil Protection in Faro district, mainly in Quartaeira, Vila Moura, Moncapacho and Fuzeta. As at just after 7 this morning, mainly because of flooding of structures or surfaces caused by intense rain. So take great care down there in the south. I know a friend of the show who is in Vila Nova de Milfontes in the Alentejo coast, sent me an alert of some seriously stormy weather on the coast. Passed me by here, I have to say, but let me know about your experience of this storm currently working its way down Portugal. IPMA have raised a yellow level warning in the Algarve, that's the Faro district, from just after 6 till midday today. A rough seas warning is also in place from 6 this morning to midnight tonight, with waves of 2 to 2.5 meters. The forecast is for showers, sometimes heavy, accompanied by thunderstorms. Heavy showers have occurred over the last hour or so in the district, accompanied by hail and thunderstorms. Wow, sounds a bit exciting and a little bit dicey down there, weather-wise in the south. I hope you're doing okay. I'm sure we'll have people telling us how it's been from the Algarve. So let's have a look at a few of your comments this morning. Let us know how your weekend has been. That doesn't look like good news, Laura. We got to see what we can do to help each other with this matter. I'll come back to Laura in just a moment. Bon dia, says Safiro. Stalwart of the Expat Man Cave. Had a hilarious time last Friday. That's on YouTube. If you do watch it, you'll never be able to unsee it. It was my warning to you. The Expat Man Cave, a lot of fun on a Friday night. Thanks, Joel Safiro, for being our resident Portuguese geezer. Our Portugueser on the show, giving us a few clues about Portuguese life. He's our go-to guy for all matters Portuguese and cultural, and I'm sure he'll be the same for you if you chat to him in the comments here. Good morning from Gemini. Good morning to you, Gemini. Laura says, fabulous, darling. What is that referring to, the weekend you've had, or like a sarcastic response to all the bad news I'm delivering? I don't know, Laura. Morning from a sunny but chilly Castanera de Pera. You will have seen Pete's starter screen this morning. I called it Pete's Pera Pussies, because there were a couple of kittens in the picture there, young cats, I think, if not kittens. Lovely picture. Thank you, Pete. Wood stove on again today. Looking forward to having a bonfire this week and cooking something in the ashes. What would that be, Pete? What do you do? Put a few spuds in silver foil and pop them in there? Or do you get your cast iron pot out and get a stew in there and let that go all day long, from morning until evening, and then feast upon it at night? Sounds good to me. Let us know. Lol, says Laura. I'm not sure why, but she also says we are broke. I'm sorry to hear that, Laura. I'll take that seriously, because we're looking at there are people hunger striking. I don't want to be all gloom and doom about Portugal. You know that. This show is not about that. This show is about celebrating the wonderful life to be had in Portugal. But we can't turn a blind eye to some of the realities of what's going on. One of which is the folks from the bread and water movement, which I'm very keen to support here, are hunger striking in the capital because of what's happened to their industry. Laura, if you're serious about that, get in touch. Bon dia. We have been raining for hours in a damp Alentejo, says Neil. How are you, Neil? Talking of the Expat Man Cave, had a lot of fun with you, sir, on Friday. You might be off a few Christmas card lists. Tony, good morning, Carl. Good morning to you, Tony. How are you, sir? Moving to Portugal soon, I think. Peter Bleach, bon dia, Carl and Joel. See, Joel is a resident now. He gets his own greetings, which is fantastic. Good morning to you, Peter. How are you doing? I think it means, was it you that asked? Maybe in the context of you changing internet supplies. Yes, very funny, Pete. That wound is not closed yet. Too soon, sir. Too soon. Will Thompson, although it is better, I have to say, with Vodafone, my great shock of the €600 bill has been somewhat attenuated. But they've remained very nonchalant about the whole thing. You know, I was asking, is there any update? Are you going to send me a new invoice? Are you even going to give me an apology? Nothing, nada, at the moment. So we'll see what happens there. But I'm pretty sure I won't be paying that €600, which is a bit of financial saber rattling, I think. Remember, folks, if you have an internet deal, a fiber deal, and a telebox deal, keep the kit and send it back to the suppliers. They will charge you around €250 if you don't, for not giving them their kit back when your contract ends. All right. Good morning. Hope all's well as can be. Yeah, that's the caveat we all have right now, isn't it? Glad the sun's back. The rain really threw the spanner in the works in terms of clearing 8 fair-sized trees in a confined space. Piles of brash have invaded everywhere. Quite a challenge. Keep up the good work, Will. Yeah, I was out in the garden at the weekend. I actually did my first bit of Portuguese roof tilings, and using. It's lovely. I live in Anadia, and on the tiles that the slates, what are they? No, they're the terracotta tiles, yeah, that I'm putting up, creating a space for some sheep to go into, actually. They've got Anadia on them, locally made building supplies, re-roofing this enclosure for some sheep who are going to be munching between the grapevines, apparently. It was great to get my hands dirty at the weekend, whilst avoiding wasps that are sleeping in piles of slate. Keep calling them slates, roof tiles, and a little lizard fella, little gecko fella, who was perhaps hibernating. So apologies to him, but he scurried off in one piece, which was great. Good morning, good cold morning. Yep, I bet it's chilly up there in the north this morning, Safiro. I was up at 4, then went rouge in the field to find a pepper. Is that some sort of I don't know, what is it, a euphemism for, I don't know, going rouge in the field to find a pepper? Sounds like going outdoors naked, but it's not the right sort of weather for that, Laura, to make ragu. No floods here, fortunately. I wish all down south some snugness, as we all do. Thank you, Laura. And Eva this morning. Good morning from Japan. Is it you, sir? Is it you, Gord? No, it's not. It would say Gordianus, wouldn't it? It is usually hard to watch you live. Enjoy your show. Snowing in Japan. It's snowing in Japan, but I imagine from my, my culturally influenced view of Japan, I'm imagining it's very beautiful with the snow there. The snow-capped mountains and scenery, but maybe it's all grey sludge like it is everywhere else. I don't know. Let us know more, Eva. Konnichiwa. Very good, Safaro. Greetings to you. So konnichiwa from all of us here on the Good Morning Portugal show this morning to you in Japan. That's fabulous. Neil, the first person to be kicked. Well, helped. I think we should say helped from the field of play. A bit like, do you remember that England World Cup match where Gary Lineker alerts the boss to Gaza losing it a bit on the pitch? It was a bit like that, wasn't it? I think it was more like that than actually being, kicked. But what a star you are, Neil. What a star, sir. Bon dia. The sun is shining at present in Povoa de Varzim. Yes, contrary weather up there in the north of Portugal, in Mark's new haven, in his new expat haven up there. Good choice, sir. I'm officially broke too, going into survival mode. Tried eating snails out the garden yesterday. Do you know, to some people, that is the definition of poverty, eating snails out the garden, but not an unusual thing, obviously, for some Portuguese and French people to do. Even cleaned off the slime with apple cider vinegar and sauteed in garlic. Didn't manage more than a few spoonfuls. Don't get how the Portuguese love them. It is an acquired taste. What are they called here? Not cachorro, that's something, that's the hot dog, isn't it? Caracóis. Caracóis are the little snails. I think we need a little food parcel network for some of our more brassic community members here. If this news is true that's coming in, we definitely need to make sure you don't fall through the net, you guys. If this is to be believed this morning, which I'm sure it is. Bonfire recipes include stews in the cast iron pot, legs of pork wrapped in cabbage leaves and foil, and left overnight or barbecued entremeada on top. Entremeada is ribs, I think, isn't it? Nice one, Pete. Snails need to be kept for a few days. Eating something cleansing like lettuce before you should eat them. That's a good shout. Maybe put them in porridge oats or something like that, or lettuce, to allow them to clean out. Otherwise, you're eating what they're eating. Oh dear. Well, try the book, The Forager Handbook by Miles Irving, for lots of free wild food recipes. I think we need a special space for that on the expatsportugal.com forum, don't we? That's going to be a good skill to know about, the foraging business. It's a smart move. It's intelligent, I think, to eat what is around us out there. I was so cold, I had rosy cheeks. Okay, so there's the rouge. There's the rouge. Yeah, I don't eat caracoletas. That's caracóis, I guess. Caracoletas, the same sort of thing. Snails in Portuguese. Okay, onward then. Thank you for all your comments. Love those. Safe Communities Portugal. We are referring to you, folks. Again, thank you for your consistently good factual coverage about what's going on, helping us to make sense of things. There is an upcoming public holiday. There are two, but the first one we need to get our heads round. the measures have been announced for this upcoming public holiday, which is tomorrow, of course. Just quickly, en passant, the CTT workers are on strike today. That's the post office workers. Okay, so I don't know if the post offices are open and it's just a distribution side, but if you're expecting something in the post, as many are these days, it may not come today because CTT are making their feelings felt, perhaps in the only way they know how at the moment. Okay, so yes, the public holiday tomorrow. Another quiz question for you. We'll come back to what does foi você que pediu mean in a while. But which not bank, well, it might be a bank holiday, but which public holiday is being celebrated in Portugal tomorrow and why? Safiro, hold it right there. Don't give the game away just yet. What I need you for is to tell me if the information I'm giving out is correct about this. I've done my research. I think it's correct. But Safiro, you're here to umpire and referee that. So it is prohibited to circulate between municipalities. Okay, this is the big deal, the big news, the big difference in a lifestyle and movements as of, well, it started on the 27th, okay, just a reminder, and it's all around this public holiday to stop the population moving around across the country. Prohibited to circulate between municipalities from 11, it began on the 27th of November, right through to 0500 hours on the 2nd of December. There are exemptions, obviously, but no willy-nilly traveling around. And those other actually, it's probably a good thing for me to do is to put this in the comments, but that's what you need to know. There is a public holiday coming up, and as we know, right back from Easter of this year, if I remember correctly, the government will keeping people at home and in their municipality, not traveling around the country, sharing the virus with all and sundry. A sip of tea time for me whilst you just have a quick look at this link that goes into some detail about all the restrictions. But that's the principal thing. No movement between municipalities from the 27th up until the 2nd. Okay, so 3 more days of that. Bear with me just a moment. Right, you are. Okay, back to a few more of your lovely comments. And Eva, it is beautiful with the snow in Japan, but we get heaps and the shoveling makes me want to move to Portugal. It is evening here now, so you say konbanwa, not konnichiwa. So konbanwa, forgive us, Eva. We say the equivalent of boa tarde or boa noite, and still, I get that wrong, don't you? Boa tarde, boa noite. You think it's dark, so it's time to say boa noite. Not necessarily the case. So konbanwa. Konbanwa to you, Eva, in Japan. Fantastic. We're learning Portuguese and Japanese this morning. Bon dia on a gorgeous morning in Selanova from Kathleen. The big waves hit Nazaré yesterday. Fantastic sight, and my first time seeing them. The power of nature is awesome. It is indeed, Kathleen. And it is one of the wonders of the world, isn't it? The Nazaré waves. Particularly how you're able to view them from that fabulous viewing point. And then you've got, take a drive home through San Martino de Porto or some beautiful other part of the Silver Coast there. Absolutely fantastic. So what did they decide at Nazaré in terms of public movement, or did it just kind of blow over and we've moved on from that? Tom, bon dia. First time tuning in from here in not so sunny North Wales. We have a few of you, Tom, in North Wales. We have Elsa and Andrea, who are part of the sort of Anglo-Luso community in North Wales. And I understand you've got a few Portuguese shops up that way. Looking forward to getting over there in January for a few weeks. Fingers crossed, Tom, for that and your safe passage and continued adventure here. Great to have your company this morning. Beverly's here as well. Friend of mine is clearing out her freezer as she is moving tomorrow and wants to give the food away. Lots of home-cooked stuff from her garden. She is in San Miguel de Achá. They can contact me. That is a lovely offer, Beverly. Thank you so much. We were doing a house sit once, and we decided to defrost the freezer, which was looking a little bit, how they get, a bit of choco with ice. Found 1,500 euros in an ice cream tub. Obviously turned it in to the house owner. They'd forgotten they'd put it in there. Oh, that's where it was. But Beverly, that is a lovely offer. So you can contact Beverly there. Lots of food going going free there by the sound of it. The owner is clearing out their freezer and moving away. So that needs to be eaten and not wasted. Fantastic, Beverly. Thank you so much for that. Gary Austin, can't have starving people on here. Let's get something sorted. Absolutely right, Gary. I wasn't sure if it's a little bit tongue in cheek, but seriously, folks, if any of you are hungry, we'll certainly have a whip round. We will not allow people in this community to go hungry. Gary is absolutely right. So we'll figure something out, especially you, Will. Get in touch, mate. Good morning from Maria Fernandez. Good morning to you, Maria, this morning. Great to have your company. Right, so talking of hunger, this is something I wanted to share. I offer the caveat, don't I, that, or not a caveat, the apology, basically, that I don't really want to be giving you gloom and doom. But I also, we're all grown-ups, for heaven's sakes, and I don't think we should be spared the realities of what's going on in our society at the moment, not least to see if there's something we can do to help. This is what's going on in the capital at the moment, and I'm reading this courtesy of the Portugal resident, one of our go-tos for news. Natasha Don, our favourite writer there, I think is my favourite English news source in Portugal. Tragic hunger strike of those with shattered livelihoods enters third day outside Portuguese Parliament. With so much going on in the world, it's really hard to, I know people do criticize the mainstream media. Oh, they're not covering this, they're not covering that. But in many ways, how could they? There are so many things going on in our world at the moment that, even if you give them the benefit of the doubt, they can't cover everything. That's me trying to be fair. And this is something I haven't seen anywhere, which I think is very profound and serious. The tragic hunger strike mounted outside Parliament 3 days ago by restaurateurs and others with livelihoods on hold due to coronavirus restrictions is taking its toll on participants, who highlight the fact that in all the time of their poignant vigil, not one person from the government, not even a public sector employee, has come forwards to offer so much as a bottle of water. Talking to Sick Television News today, battling chef Ljubomir Stanisic, forgive me if I've got your name wrong, Mr. Senor Stanisic, of the Power Agua Bread and Water movement, reaffirmed that the purpose of the peaceful protest is to raise awareness among the rest of the population of the situation endured by thousands within the hospitality and event sector. As he spoke, one of his colleagues taking part in the vigil was seen clearly overcome by emotion, as is completely understandable here, right? The whole purpose of the Power Agua movement has been to fight for those who've been forgotten in the various government measures designed to make up for prohibitions on work. The truth is that thousands have found promised financial support elusive. That's not good. A special portal set up for businesses to register for help is reported to have been so inundated with requests that they have become blocked. Frustrations are running high. Thus, the idea of a hunger strike to force a meeting with the government, preferably the Prime Minister or Minister of the Economy, to move matters along before businesses that used to be perfectly healthy sink altogether. We're not going anywhere, affirms Stanisic, whose recipes are being promoted currently by Espresso. Whoa. The 20 or so people taking part in the hunger strike are living in tents that have been constructed outside Parliament. They have been surviving since Friday on tea and water. Says Stanisic, spirits have been heartened by members of the public coming forwards with freshly brewed tea. But the fact that no one working in the parliamentary building has even acknowledged the protest speaks volumes. The hunger strike, which followed a meeting with President of the Republic, Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa, in which the movement explained how much they needed to speak with a member of government, and then waited in vain. Okay, just last paragraph on this. Hopes mid-November were that Marcelo could organise, facilitate dialogue. Bearing in mind the government has not responded to emails sent in this regard, hopes still rest on Marcelo, whose support of the government through the crisis has started to receive criticism from various quarters. Interesting situation, terrible situation, and I think I'll do my best. If you find out how to support these folks, let me know. I will be looking as well. But that is a sad state of affairs. And as Gary said there, you're quite right. Anyone who's starving in our community, let us know. I mean, just PM us. You don't have to make it a public thing of it here. If you're in a difficult situation or embarrassed about that, just PM me, probably Gary as well, and let us know, and we'll see what we can do to help you out. Absolutely. Yes, free, says Beverly. The food from the freezer there. Again, that is from San Miguel de Asha. Which part of the country is that, Beverly? That'd be helpful. Vera, good morning and good day from New Jersey. Good morning to you. I love the whole Portuguese New Jersey hybrid. I think you have some amazing characters. who are the hybrid. I think the Portuguese kids, that really funny Facebook page, that's the New Jersey vibe, isn't it, in Portugal? And Antonio, thank you, Antonio, for this. The hunger strike has been shown on TV. Okay, forgive me for that. I guess that was why I was a little bit circumspect in my criticism of mainstream media. So that's good. Is anything? What do you think is going to happen, Antonio? If you're obviously somebody who's on top of that, so do let us know, Antonio, how that's shaping up. Because as I've said before, many of us here are like children in terms of Portuguese culture and politics. We don't really know what's going on. And when I watch the news to try and learn a bit of Portuguese, but it's kind of difficult. I hope it gets better. But can you be our eyes and ears on that? Let us know what's happening. And more to the point, actually, with the Pau e Agua movement, I've looked on Facebook at their page. They don't have a PayPal link or anything like that. How do we get stuff to, obviously they're not going to eat, the guys on the hunger strike, but they've got families who need to eat, and presumably there must be some fund or PayPal or something like that where you can send some money to them to help them get by in this difficult time. Let us know, Antonio. And what a lovely community you all are, Carl. We're really looking forward to being with Peter and Alice again after our sale finally goes through. You're working with Peter and Alice. You probably don't realize how much you have helped. Well, I'm delighted to hear that. That's what it's all about here, Peter. So I'm delighted to hear that. Falling through the cracks isn't really suitable and disruptive terminology anymore. I'm not quite sure what you mean, Will, but descriptive terminology. Yeah, we we can't allow that, basically. There should be a hunger tax worldwide is one solution put forward by Eva there. And Philomena is here. Philomena Friday. We've got a couple of lovely live guests this week. Ify is with us on Wednesday with more of the kind of feel-good vibes that I think we need as a bit of a balance to what's going on at the moment. Bon dia, boa semana. A good day and good week to you from everybody from Philomena, who'll be back on Friday. Bon feriado amanhã. So happy holidays tomorrow. That question's still hanging there. What are the Portuguese people celebrating tomorrow in tomorrow's public holiday? It does go back. Who was it? Oh yes, it was Joanna Banana, wasn't it? Who we did an expat chat with, talking about the possibility. She said it, not me. I'm distancing myself from a diplomatic outrage here, but how Portuguese culture, there can be the tendency to bear a grudge. I think that was denied by some and quite roundly by others, but I think some people accept that. And you could say that tomorrow's public holiday has something of a grudgy vibe to it. So 1st of December, what is being celebrated, acknowledged tomorrow by Portuguese people? We will certainly come back to that. A little bit of good news for you when things return to normal. This is something, actually, I don't know why I said that. Things are not returning to normal, folks. Things are going to be different, aren't they? Let's face it. But what I meant to say was when we can move more freely, this is a little bit of you may say I'm clutching at straws here. This doesn't compare with people having food on their plates and tables for sure, but this is a little bit of light. I think extension approved for free entry to museums, the amendment to the 2021 state budget of the CFP that extends the free entry into museums, palaces and national monuments on Sundays and public holidays next year has been approved. I suppose if we're talking about bread and circuses, this is the circus bit. In 2021, the government will adopt the necessary measures to extend the free entry to all museums, palaces and national monuments under the tutelage of the central administration to Sundays and holidays for all citizens residing in national territory, reads the proposal approved with favourable votes of the various political parties. The proposal also provides that these entities are guaranteed transfers of funds corresponding to the reduction of ticket revenue. Okay, so they're not just making the museums and the galleries feel the heat, they're going to fund them. And this is for Sundays and public holidays. I think when I worked at the Natural History Museum, that was a very interesting job I had in my checkered career. Well, my first job, in fact, worked at the Geological Museum and the Natural History Museum. And I saw what happened, as it went from being a place anyone could go to, full of people when it was raining who weren't really interested in what was in the museum, to a paid place. The politics of museums are fascinating, but here in Portugal, Sundays and bank holidays, as I understand it here, are going to be free. in museums and galleries and so on, which is absolutely got to be right, isn't it? In a context where families see their incomes affected and many have already lost their jobs as a result of measures enacted on the pretext of combating the pandemic, it is even more important to ensure the right to cultural enjoyment, the CFP argues. I don't know what the CFP is, forgive me. It's probably something really obvious, so forgive me that, but you get the gist. That museums, palaces, and national monuments will be free on Sundays and public holidays, as a little bit of an upside to things as we go into 2021. And let's see what else you've been saying here. Yes. Okay. The answer is coming through about tomorrow's holiday. Well, remember, you can't move between municipalities unless you have an official exemption. Let me just put the other question up as well then. And give us a chance to answer this, you Portuguese folks. I do need to know what it means because I couldn't make sense of it, but you'll know the literal meaning, but maybe you can give us a sort of cultural understanding. Foi você que pediu, and forgive my pronunciation, obviously, that goes without saying. Foi você que pediu. What does that mean? Okay, so yes, tomorrow's public holiday. Philomena first in. We are celebrating the independence from Spain in 1640. A very important cultural note there. Never mistake Portuguese people for Spanish people or say that the language is similar or even anything is similar. Independence, yay! The restoration of independence. Hey, Owen, good morning to you. The man formerly known as Her Majesty's Owen Lloyd Martin. How you doing, Owen? Antonio F. 1st of December commemorates the revolution in 1640, when the Spanish were expelled from Portugal after ruling for 60 years. I wonder what sort of job they made of it. Not a good one if they were routed and expelled from the country. And a bon dia to everyone from Owen this morning. Yes, 60 years. Portuguese people know their holidays and why after 60 years being united to Spain. United, but probably a term used quite loosely there, Philippi. I'll give my free entry fee to a meal to someone who's hungry. Well done, Laura. Yes, that's the spirit, isn't it? Redistribution of wealth, absolutely. So yeah, we're taking it seriously this morning. This situation where people are going hungry in this country, which we are now calling our home. Let's find out ways that we can do that. And starting, of course, Will, seriously, mate. I'm not trying to make a meal of it, as it were. Pardon the pun in poor taste there. Oh, another pun to do with food. But yeah, give us a shout, mate. You don't need to eat snails unless you want to. Okay. Yes, Restoration of Independence 2020. When is Restoration of Independence? In Portugal, always celebrated on December the 1st and marks the reinstatement of sovereignty after the period of Spanish rule between 1580. I might test you at the end of this, and 1640. Portugal was plunged into a royal crisis in 1587 following the death of the young King Sebastian at the Battle of Alsace-Quibir in North Africa. The King of Spain, Philip II, seized this regal vacuum and invoked his right to succession. He was the grandson of Dom Manuel I of Portugal. Oh, I see. He ascended to the throne and managed to achieve an Iberian union for the first and only time. I suppose there was an Iberian union in prehistory before the humans came along in big numbers and kind of got a load of crazy ideas about drawing lines and having flags and stuff like that. But I see what you mean. This is coming from officeholidays.com of all places. So with Philip II as king, Portugal became involved in a war with the traditional enemies of Spain, such as England and the Low Countries. Portugal lost a great part of its naval fleet and much of its empire, though they did manage to thwart Dutch ambitions in Africa and South America. My goodness. Fearing for the loss of Portugal's status, a revolution was led by the nobility and high bourgeoisie on December the 1st, 1640. 60 years after the crowning of Philip I, the Portuguese monarchy was restored by a new ruling dynasty. The House of Bragança was founded. And we know, do we not, what happened to them? I'd like to say we've moved on a bit since then, but in so many ways we haven't, have we? Incredible, us human beings. Okay, let's go back to your comments, and we'll come back to Foi você que pediu as we conclude the show today. Bon dia, says Gail from Ericeira. Happy to see the sun again. Can I take the bus to Lisbon on Thursday just to have lunch? I don't know the answer to that. I really don't. Go to Safe Communities Portugal for a better answer than I can give on the spur of the moment here, Gail. They do have a very helpful Facebook page, Safe Communities Portugal. You know me, if I start talking about that, I'll only get emotional and start chipping in with my opinions. Mark Rigby, with MBWay, it's possible to generate a code with an amount of cash associated with it. Whoever you give the code to can type it into a multi-banco ATM and withdraw that cash. Happy to donate a small amount to someone who is hungry. Good on you, Mark. Absolutely amazing. I think we probably, on the one hand, I'm thinking, let's start something, via Expats Portugal, some sort of, hunger fund, basically. But I don't think it's that simple in Portugal. You have to start a proper association. And why reinvent the wheel? There's probably something we can associate ourselves with. Bon dia, says Anna. Good morning to you, Anna. Hi. Anna would know the answer to these sorts of things. Some of the demands are fair. Others, I think, not. They want the official support of the government for the restaurant closures on weekends to consider their revenue in 2019, not 2020. Yeah, as the government ruled. I think that's fair. The movement wants the end of the weekend closure of commerce at 1300. Yeah, thanks for that, Antonio. I think it's only right, isn't it? If a government tells you not to work, it seems, this is purely personal opinion here, as you're used to, I'm sure, here. But if you're being stopped from working, the person stopping you from working, or the entity, whatever you might call it, might compensate you, for stopping you. Seems only fair. But I guess, Antonio, your view is there on the technicalities of that. And obviously, in the restaurant trade, we know, don't we, that what's declared, and that's what's happening, isn't it? The government are giving a percentage on declared income, which obviously leads to some, let me call that a misunderstanding at the moment, with the way the economy works. An ugly and difficult situation, without a doubt. And for me, I think taking matters into our own hands in that regard of actually giving people who are hungry money to buy food is probably the best thing here, isn't it? There might have been an Iberian Union when the Romans were in charge. What did they ever do for us, Kathleen? By the way, the MBWay code is time sensitive, so it needs to be coordinated well. Nice one, Mark. What a fine grasp you have of things. Gail, Lynn, no, only on Wednesday. What does that mean? Only on Wednesday? I think that may be something to do with. So the only Iberian Union ever was whilst the king came back to take what he thought was his rightful throne for those 60 years of union. So there you go. Thank you, Antonio F, for your input this morning. Really appreciate it. Tell about part-time jobs for an English speaker. Like, how much can they earn and all? Is it now okay to visit Portugal as a student visa and some money in part-time jobs? That sounds like one for the forum, Kaja. Do go to, let me just put it up on the screen for you. This is a question that's what we're all about, being helpful to each other at expatsportugal.com. I'm asking you there on the screen to become a premium member, but you can join at expatsportugal.com for free and be on the forum asking such questions there, Kaja. So do that. And do take your inquiry then. I'm sure you'll get a lot of good input. There is Banco Alimentar contra a Fome. That would be the food bank against hunger. From my rudimentary understanding of Portuguese, they help people all over the country. You can help them with food, buying coupons at supermarkets, or volunteering. So presumably, Anna, there are the people who are involved in the Pau e Agua and the other people who have lost their jobs or whatever would go to Banco Alimentar contra a Fome to get food. Okay, so perhaps that's the thing to do. Well done, Kaja. That was quick. Signed up at expatsportugal.com. Good man. Okay, so finally then, and thank you everybody for rising to that occasion. It would appear that's good, and I'll keep you informed of that. And we got to do something along those lines. Absolutely. Just finally here, which seems like a bit of a frivolity now, me quoting something from a bottle of port. Which is where it arose from. Foi você que pediu. What does that mean? Now, my understanding is did you ask? Why would a port manufacturer have that as their strapline catchphrase on their bottle of port? Here it is, very nice, based on, some of it might disappear because of my green screen, but this is a very nice white port. And there it is on the screen there. I don't know if we've got time to answer that inquiry, but did you ask is the translation of that this morning. So As requested, we are doing a bit more Portuguese vocabulary. Oh, I know what I meant to say to you. Let me just share something with you. When it comes to learning Portuguese, I have found I do love the online nature of Mia Esmerej, who I'll give you the link to her system for learning Portuguese. That's Mia's system, which is a great online system. But I also have, not but, and, because I think it's important to get a number of different approaches when you come to learning Portuguese. You know, we all have different language learning styles, but also we have, I think, the more the merrier in terms of how you mix it up. You know, so listen to the radio, watch TV, buy a newspaper, throw yourself in at the deep end in social situations, learn a bit online. And I've got a new thing for you as well. Let me just put this in. This is Mia's link, and actually we've got a link to her free. Actually, let me find this for you. We have a link to her free introductory course. I'll come back to that and stick it in the comments later because I'm just distracting myself with that at the moment. But the wonderful Joanna, who was with me the other night doing the expat chat, who I mentioned earlier on, the laughter yoga lady, you might remember her as, has come up with a really nice idea. Let me just tell you what she's proposing here. Join our Laugh and Learn the Lingo Portuguese lessons for beginners with Joanne, the laughter yoga founder in Portugal, an English expat who grew up on the Costa do Sol in Spain and has been here in Portugal for 25 years, speaks like a local. Her classes comprise of learning the keywords for the lesson through dancing, singing, and using gestural language to overcome inhibitions and help you memorize. Games and role-playing in a story during these classes will help you get fluent fast and, most of all, have tons of fun. So I'm up for that. If you are, PM me and let me know, because we'll have a small group. It won't be very big. It will be a small and intimate group, and we will have a lot of fun doing that, I think. So let me know if that appeals to you. Singing, dancing, and moving and laughing whilst learning the language. It's got to be done, in it. So there we go. Just quickly then on this, was it you that asked for it? You asked for it. Did you ask? From Ellie. That's Neil saying you asked for it. Did you ask? Says Ellie. Yeah, it's an advertisement sentence for a very famous one for a port wine company. Certainly is Ferreira Porto. That's what I was enjoying with tonic on Friday night. Or did you ask for it? Adds Neil. Did you ask for it? I mean, but what does that mean? You know, like, how does that work as a marketing phrase, or does it not need to? Is it just synonymous with Ferreira Porto? That mystery will hang in the air. Neil says, Rita says it. So yes, proper Portuguese understanding here. Thank you, Neil and Rita. Rita says it can be two meanings. All depends on what context. Sounds good. Where will it be? I think you mean the language lessons with Joanna there online. We'll do that as a Zoom class, Claire. So it sounds like you might be interested in that. Have a great day, everybody. It's looking like this is a 45-minute show, despite all my attempts to condense it down to 30 minutes. Thank you all for being here this morning. Thank you for rising to the occasion there and not liking the sound of people going hungry. That shouldn't be happening, should it, in our day and age? So let's see what we can do about that, and we'll keep you informed. Take care. Have a great day. Have a great week, in fact, and we will see you tonight for the Portugal show. Take care and bye for now. Ciao, ciao. Abraços, beijinhos.